The Nintendo Switch's online service has finally launched, and there are some good points about it and of course some bad points about it. I've really been enjoying the NES games. I think it's great to play these games on your Nintendo Switch. The fact that you can play them portably is pretty cool, and of course the online play is a welcome addition as well. It would be better if you could play with random people online, but I think that will eventually come down the road. Of course you also have the cloud save support, which is another welcome addition to the service, and it really, gives you a sense of security when it comes to your games as far as your save data not getting completely deleted if something happens to your Nintendo Switch. But of course one of the bad points about it is the Nintendo voice chat app for your cell phone. Having to use your cell phone for voice chat is very, very archaic. But is Nintendo making this an option instead of the mandatory thing? We have some new information coming out via data miners that's very interesting that could be pointing to Nintendo making the voice chat app for your cell phone a option instead of the mandatory thing. Also in this video I want to talk a little bit about TellTale. Obviously everyone has heard the tale of TellTale, but now there's some new information coming out about it, and actually sitting down and thinking about TellTale, I'm actually gonna miss them because I realized something. There were a couple games that I really enjoyed from them. So what the hell happened to TellTale? How did they get into this position? I'll talk about why I feel TellTale is shutting down its doors. So sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into these two stories and what I think about it.
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my God, it's Stevie Richards!
So what is going on with the Nintendo voice chat app? Is it indeed being pushed to an option instead of the mandatory thing? We all know one thing. The Nintendo Switch can do voice chat natively on the system. Fortnite is living proof of that. Fortnite, you simply plug in a USB headset if you're playing in docked mode, or you plug in another type of headset if you're playing in handheld mode, and you can simply talk to people in the game. It doesn't require a voice chat app. It doesn't require anything special. It is built into the game. So it's obvious that the Nintendo Switch is capable of this, but obviously Nintendo has been pushing this voice chat app. Well, some Splatoon 2 data miners have found something very interesting that could be hinting that Nintendo is making the voice chat app an option instead of the mandatory thing. Within this data mine, they found two new icons for voice chat, and basically Splatoon 2 of course offers in-game voice chat through the LAN mode, but regular online play you have to have the app. Now what's interesting about these two new voice chat icons is that the LAN voice chat was tested after they found these two new icons, and these icons were not part of that. These icons had nothing to do with that. So why would Nintendo add in two new voice chat icons into Splatoon 2 if they have nothing to do with LAN play, and the Splatoon 2 infrastructure for online voice chat through your cell phone is already in there? It's obviously been there since the launch of the game. That was the reason for the Nintendo voice chat app, was so that you could talk to players in Splatoon 2. I honestly feel like this could be a sign that Nintendo will be making the voice chat app a side companion, a sort of not necessary thing, and putting voice chat on the Nintendo Switch. It's obviously the biggest drawback of the Nintendo online service. People have been very, very vocal about this feature as well, wanting something like native voice chat. And Nintendo has actually been updating the voice chat app slowly but surely on your cell phone as well. People haven't realized this, but games like Mario Kart 8, you now can start up a lobby on your phone when you are playing in the game, and anyone can talk. It doesn't have to be just friends, which is what it's mostly regulated to now. Now, I don't really necessarily hate the voice chat app. I think the clarity on it is pretty decent. I just don't like having to use my cell phone. If I'm playing a game with a friend and I have to use my phone, I might as well boot up Discord on my phone, or use Discord on my computer, or just freaking call them because it would be easier. But things like this sort of are hinting that Nintendo could be doing away with the voice chat app being mandatory on your cell phone and putting the voice chat app on the Nintendo Switch. Now, obviously, we'll probably hear more information on this when more data miners find out more information. They're probably going to be looking at other games too, first-party titles like Mario Kart 8, ARMS, and of course whenever Smash Brothers releases, because obviously you want your online to be tip-top shape when Smash Brothers releases. So is Nintendo getting rid of the voice chat app as mandatory and making it simply an option, which is what it should have been in the first place? It looks like it could be potentially happening. So let me know in the comments section down below if you would prefer it to be on the system, or if for some weird reason you like using the voice chat app. And if you do like using the voice chat app, please tell me why. And secondly, TellTale Games. Wow, this came out of absolutely nowhere. I'm actually pretty shocked by this. If you have not heard the news, TellTale Games is closing down. They currently have completely downsized. There are only 25 people left in the company, and that is simply to work on the Minecraft Netflix project that they were working on, to simply finish up that project, and then they are done. And TellTale Games has been around for quite a while now and have built up quite a lineage of games. And honestly, I wasn't going to talk about this story because I didn't think I had any emotional attachment to Telltale. I didn't really care for their games, things like The Walking Dead. I'm not a fan of the Walking Dead series, so I didn't really care about the games. But looking over the catalog of games, I started to see that I actually liked some Telltale games. And so I kind of want to talk about what's happening with Telltale, talk about some new information that just came out, and try to figure out what the F happened with Telltale, because obviously something big happened, and it happened very, very recently. So it seems like Telltale Games was hiring people very recently as 1 week ago. A week ago. And this is coming from a former Telltale employee, Emily Grace Buck. She took to Twitter and was talking about it on Twitter, that they were hiring people as of a week ago to work at Telltale Games, and now this week, Telltale Games is closing down their doors. To clarify some questions that people have been asking, and keep in mind, I am not a company rep, around 250 people are jobless. We did not get any kind of severance. Our healthcare only lasts for 1 more week. Many former employees were contract and cannot get unemployment. So a lot of people are being screwed by this, and it really just begs the question, what exactly happened at Telltale? Because when you look at the games that they were working on and the franchises they were working on, we're talking some big stuff here. They were working on a Stranger Things game for the Netflix series. They did Minecraft story mode. They did The Walking Dead. These are not small franchises, people. These are huge, massive, multi-million-dollar franchises. Now, of course, there were some drawbacks to Telltale Games. Some of the Telltale games were released in episodes, and a lot of people didn't like that. They wanted the complete edition right off of the bat. So their sales for games were dwindling over time, but still, these are huge franchises. And obviously, if you're working with the Walking Dead license or you're working with the Minecraft license, these companies are flowing money into you. So was there some sort of misappropriation of funds or something going on? But honestly, like I said, I wasn't too keen on talking about this story. It made for a good headline, but I didn't really have any attachment to Telltale Games. I never really thought I liked any of their games, but looking over the catalog of games, I realized something. They actually did something really cool, and you have to go back a bit in time to see some of these games, but there are 4 games that I have really played and enjoyed from the Telltale lineup. I did play the original Walking Dead Episode 1, because I remember that was free on the Xbox 360, but as someone who didn't care about The Walking Dead, I didn't care. I didn't care about the source material of The Walking Dead, but they did games where I cared about the source material, and I actually enjoyed that. Back to the Future was one of them. As a huge Back to the Future fan, we haven't gotten any new stuff from the Back to the Future universe since Back to the Future 3. Let's face it. They just completely forgot about that franchise, and it's just, it was done. It was a trilogy of films. But then came along Back to the Future, the Telltale game, that sort of picked up the story and went along with the original source material, the canon material from Back to the Future, and made it such a good game. They brought in original voice actors. They had a great representation of Michael J. Fox's character, Marty McFly, in the vocal format. It was just such a fun game. It was fun to revisit areas that you knew from the movies. It was fun to revisit characters that you knew from the movies and see new stuff. And it was just so well done. Another game, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, the first one, is one of my favorite movies of all time. And they released a Jurassic Park game that I actually played and beat on my computer, of all things. Yes, I played a computer game, but I remember it was really cheap on Steam, and I bought it on my crappy laptop. And it was so good because the events of the game took place during the events of the first movie. Of course, the Batman games were really good as well. I'm a big fan of Batman, so it was fun to have a new Batman-style game. And of course, The Wolf Among Us. The Wolf Among Us is something I didn't care about the source material, but it was a good game. And one of the problems with Telltale is they just sort of got complacent over time, I feel. They sort of got that formula down for their gameplay, and they never really expanded upon it. There was no reason, if you're not a fan of The Walking Dead, there's no reason for you to play The Walking Dead game. It didn't do anything to transcend the franchise. It didn't do anything to sort of go above and beyond the franchise. It was just for fans of the series. And that, I feel, is Telltale's biggest downfall, is they never really reinvented themselves. They never never really tried to expand upon things. They had great writers, they had great ideas. It's just that the ideas didn't really translate into great games. They translated into great experiences, something that you would one and done play, something that where your choices really didn't make that much of a difference. And it's a shame. It's a shame that 250 people are out of a job. It's crazy to think that they were hiring people a week ago and then something massive happened to where all of the future games are canceled. You're not getting anything else. The Walking Dead won't continue for TellTale Games. It's just absolute insanity. Things can change in the blink of an eye, so never take tomorrow for granted. Live in the moment. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about these two stories because they're pretty interesting. So let me know in the comments section down below what you feel about Nintendo possibly getting rid of the voice chat app as a mandatory thing and implementing it on the system, which is what it should have been in the first place, and what your thoughts on TellTale Games closing down is. Were you a fan of the games? Did you enjoy some of the games beyond just the source material, or did you feel like I did and you had to be a fan of the source material in order to appreciate their games? And thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.